Okay, here we are. It's Sunday, February 17th, 2008, and we are beginning the first of our interviews with John Richard Osterman, otherwise known as Grandpapa, JJ, other aliases I haven't found out about yet, but we might in these interviews, right? And yes, and for the first part, we have the next generation here, Karl Goldthorpe. He's going to be asking his grandfather some questions about his early life, which began September 3rd, 1931 in Banning, California. Take it away, Karl.
Okay. Our first question, when your early life, Grandpa, do you have any memories of being a baby?
None whatsoever.
What games did you like to play with your sister or brother?
Well, sister and brother, sister and I should say, would chase each other around in the orange grove. And if we catch each other, watch out. And that was our games that we played.
Now, Grandpa, did you have anything in your hands when you were chasing each other?
I can't really say.
Oh, I heard something about rakes. I heard something about you had rakes and...
Well, we had some tools that
Okay.
Yeah.
So, describe your mother.
My mother was one of the finest ladies that ever walked the face of this earth.
Describe your
She
father.
was-
Wait, Karl, whoa, Karl.
She was a good housekeeper. She had a lot of friends,
And
she
her
took good care of us kids.
and her name was Anna
Margarita,
Momstang.
right?
Osterman, yeah. And I'll remember, I'm going to interject a little bit here. When I spoke to your sister, Barbara, she just said your mother was the best cook, hands down. Anything
yeah.
she ate was the best, and all the kids would come over to the house, and her love of entertaining and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
she always got people together, you know.
that was her
as
gift.
a group. She was an organizer of the family, so to speak.
And was she born in the United States?
Oh no, she came to the United States when she was about in her 20s. And she went to work for the Fleischman East people in Flint Ridge, near Santa Barbara, as a maid. And that's about all I can say.
Yeah, and then she had her family and...
Yeah.
Okay. All
Next
right.
question. Okay. Describe your father.
Well, Dad, I really don't. He was a good guy. I worked with him for a long time. In fact, he used to sell used cars on the front lawn of his house and had a station right nearby, and he'd pump the gas up into the bowl, say 5 gallons, and release it. And all I could see was the broomstick handle on top of my head sweeping the station out. And I was always attached to it because I made money, and it was kind of neat. But he sort of got off on the wayward side because of the alcohol, and sort of did a lot of harm to himself and his family.
And he took you to horse tracks around the state.
I've been to every horse track in California. And
when you were Carl's age, right? He was...
Right, 12 years old. And dogs races in Oregon and Tijuana. And we were real buddies, hell.
He was a different kind of father.
Yeah, he was a different kind of father. Right?
And he also was from Sweden or...
He was from Finland.
Finland, okay.
Åland
Right.
Island.
Oh.
Okay. So we move on to your next question. What was your sister like?
Well, my sister was always very popular, very pretty, and very outgoing. I think she sort of disowned Norm and I because she had so many friends and she didn't want us to be around.
She mentioned she was given the responsibility of taking care of you guys.
Yeah, and this is why she actually disliked Mom, is because Mom had to work in the station when Dad went to the horse races. And then Mom would have to not be around us kids.
Yeah, so be passing on the responsibilities.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so what was your brother like?
Norm was very quiet, I think. He had a hearing problem, I think, from day one, and that sort of hindered his activities. In fact, he had half his lung removed when he was 18. He was in the Navy when this was in Corona Hospital. But yeah, Norm just, I mean, he was a great guy, but he just had so many health problems that hindered him.
And he went into the Navy pretty early,
Yes,
very young.
very early, right. He didn't graduate from high school.
Oh.
He got his GED, you know, while he was in the Navy.
And Barbara said she took off the day after high school graduation. She went down to Southern California, and you kind of stuck around, right?
Yeah, I was sort of a lost soul, I think, you know, not really. I wasn't that independent and had my goals set. So.
Okay, so where did you live?
Where did I live? Now
This is higher.
we lived in Ontario. We moved to Grants Pass, and then we went to Cottage Grove and back to Grants Pass again, and then to Placerville and into the Bay Area.
Did you have a pet?
Yeah, we had a pet. Yeah, it was a patter.
Oh no, when you were a kid.
Yeah, not when I was a kid. I was in high, or out.
Oh, because I've written down something before about like a Mitch or something.
Pardon me?
It's
Mitches?
Mitch? Yeah.
I forget that.
Oh, you might have had a dog. You don't remember.
Yeah. I don't think we had, well, we probably did,
Yeah.
but it's been so far.
It wasn't a strong memory.
Yeah.
What about some of those memories of summers in Ontario and going to the pool and the fireworks?
Oh, that was great.
Those are good stories.
Because we lived Euclid Avenue, and it was about 3 miles to the swimming pool. They had JC up there, and we would walk all the way up to the swim, and then walk all the way back. So that meant we walked 6 miles that day.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what did you do in the summer?
I would work. I would always be working. I always had money because I always took time to work, and that sort of took away from my activities with other kids. You know, it sort of made me a loner, you know, in a sense.
Now, were you saving your money for something? Did you?
I wanted to get a Cushman motor scooter, and basically, I could just see that scooter, you know. I was tired of riding the bikes.
All right.
I could pay for it. And I said, well, you can't have the scooter. And I said, why? And they said, well, you just can't have it. And so now I can see they did me a favor.
Ah.
That I didn't get out there and crush one of my legs or arms.
But didn't you had other besides working in the gas station? You had a job selling newspapers.
Selling fruit, right?
Selling. Oh yes, picking fruit, selling fruit.
No, we had a little fruit stand right on, gosh, it was Route 66. And I did well there. In fact, they were going to get me a job at Piggly Wiggly. I was only 12 years old.
Uh-huh.
But before that time, you know, I saw this kid selling newspapers on the corner. Now, hell, I could do that too. So I pushed him out of there and got some of his papers and tried to sell them. And they hauled me into juvenile, you know.
Oh, you went into
court.
juvenile court.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They said, you can't do this.
So, did you, any family vacations?
Pardon me?
Any family vacations?
Well, we went to Lake Tahoe.
Oh no, this is your early childhood.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. This is with your parents and stuff.
No,
But you went
no.
to Lake Isabella or something. Lake. Watch it.
Lake Isabella? Turn that thing off. Lake Isabella.
It was like near Big Bear or something, I think.
Oh,
So occasionally, or
yeah, I know which one you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, but I can't think of it.
you can't remember. Yeah. That's, yeah. But probably your family, it sounds like you were pretty busy to take too many vacations. I'm sure there weren't too many.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
because what the family business wasn't just the gas station; it was a car lot, the ice house, the cafe, and
Well, the car
were there
lot,
5
the
things?
ice house was, at the beginning,
Yeah.
but then, we worked Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas, all these different days. So we never really, was a very business-like organization.
Right. Right.
Vacations we didn't think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl, what's your next question there?
Okay, what are your early memories of your relatives?
Well, I remember my aunts and uncles, and basically we'd get together occasionally, but other than that,
Do you remember, no, who lived, when you were in Southern California, who lived down there? Did Uncle Charlie live there?
Charlie died, they left a sponge in him, and remember Wanda said that Charlie went over and flattened out the doctor?
No, I didn't hear that one.
You didn't?
No, after his surgery,
After the surgery.
oh, and did he know he was going to die?
Well, he did die.
But did he know that when he flattened the guy, when he punched him out?
Yeah.
Because Barbara said that Charlie was one of her favorites. She liked Helgi and Charlie and all because your father was one of 13 kids, and about half of them came to the States, or a fair amount of them.
Okay, so
And
next
then-
question. What was your favorite school subject?
Well, it could have been architecture, or, I just went along to just get my diploma.
Get the basics. So there wasn't any one area that really
Liberal.
excited you, or
Yeah.
not really. Not,
Too bad.
yeah. Carl, your next
Okay,
question.
so how did you deal with school?
How did I do with school? I did well. In fact, I had high grades when I left Southern California, but when we moved to Oregon, everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
The whole curricula changed. So it really screwed me up.
So it was a different school system, and what grade or age were you at when you moved?
Freshman.
Oh, in high school. That's a hard time to move.
Yeah, but that really found me up. But
Is it-
what are you going to do? You're
But you
out
did
there.
graduate, right?
Oh, yeah.
Class
I
of
did.
49, I think.
49er.
49er. Grants Pass, caveman.
Okay, so next question. So you moved to Oregon. Where do you live?
Moved to Oregon, where did I, what?
Where did you live when you moved to Oregon?
What part of Oregon?
I just mentioned
Okay.
that we moved from Southern California to Grants Pass, to Cottage Grove, back to Grants Pass again, then to,
And
we'd
yeah,
move every year.
Yeah.
And basically, I wouldn't even attach a vise to the table
Uh-huh.
permanently, because I know damn well it'll be going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's hard. That's so different than the way you raised your children, because we
That's
stayed
right.
in one place, but to always be on the move, and the friends, and even the house you knew that you weren't going to stay in,
That's
or
right, we were real vagabonds.
vagrants, gypsies,
Gypsies.
Scandinavian gypsies.
Yeah.
So what kind of businesses did your folks have up in Oregon?
They had bars, they went, first they bought this house on 6th Street, and there was enough room to build a motel.
Mm-hmm.
So they built a 6-unit motel, and it was in the days where you couldn't get water heaters and you couldn't get this and that, because it was just after the war.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
1945, I guess. And after they sold that, they went in partners with the Webbers, and they went to Cottage Grove and started they were participants, partners in this bar. And it was the only bar that you could bring, I think, you could bring ladies in, And
Oh.
the guy that could talk the loudest and the fastest was King, so they had a lot of fights.
Yeah, I heard about people being thrown out into the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we saw the outside of it when Chris and I were there, and
Yeah.
Carl was a little kid.
Bohemian Club.
Yeah, the Bohemian Club, yeah. So that was only a year, though, in Cottage Grove, and then back to Grants Pass.
And then back to Grants Pass to another bar.
Oh, the tavern up there.
Yeah, the tavern up in the sky, right?
Yeah. When we went to your high school reunion,
Okay.
yeah. So hold on.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the stable upbringing that most kids, I mean, not most, but a lot of kids experience. So you were kind of more the.
Okay, so now how is it different from like Ontario, Southern California?
Well, being in Ontario, if you didn't have a calendar, you wouldn't know what month it was. In Oregon, you could look at the trees and you'd see the change in the colors, and you'd have rain, and it'd be kind of neat. You know?
Even snow, I would think.
Yeah, even
It may have
snow.
been the first time you saw snow.
Right. So that was quite a thing, and I think most of the stores when we went up there were closed on Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh, okay.
But people were different. You know, people were sort of home-like type individual.
Were they friendlier or?
Really, right. But they didn't like us because we were business people and they didn't want any Californians in there.
Right, right. Even then.
But basically, they were friendly to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you attended high school in Grand Pass, Oregon. Who were your high school friends?
My high school friends? Oh, I had a couple friends that were high school, but like I said, I was moving back and forth so often that
Yeah,
you
in
didn't have
between.
time to
Yeah,
do
you
it.
actually went to 2 high schools. Now, what about, was that during high school that you bought a car and you shared it with some guy named Rusty or?
Russ.
Russ,
Tracy,
there you go.
right.
Was that high school?
Yeah, he lived in Saginaw, and Russ and I saw this, well, he saw the Model T Ford. And
Oh.
he says, well, how about going in partners in it? I said, sure, Russ, we'll go in partners, and so they were only asking $25 for it, so it's $12.50 a piece.
Oh, God.
And we had the car for about a week and a half. And Russ asked if he could take his girlfriend to the dance that Saturday night. And I said, sure you can, Russ. Go ahead and take it.
Here's the keys.
We each had teas, right? But he had sort of a saddened look in his face Monday morning. I says, what's the matter, Russ? And he says, well, one of the wheels rolled off. You know, I had wooden spoke wheels.
Oh, my gosh. Now, what year was the car? Do you remember?
Well, it was a Model T Ford.
So, one of the original ones? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the bands and everything.
'Cause this happens to be the 100-year anniversary of the Model T, by the way.
Yeah, I was
1908.
wanting him to drive the thing because he was used to tractor
Uh-huh.
motors and all that.
Wow.
I was a city boy, you know, I was an investor in that car.
All right, $12.50. Can you imagine, Carl? For $12.50, you can share a car with your friend.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you remember most from high school?
Well, I went to so many high schools, Ontario, Grants Pass, Cottage Grove, and then back to Grants Pass again, and it was really hard. Which question are we on now?
This one. Put more
I know when we first went to Grants Pass, they were just building the new high school.
Oh, it was a new high school.
But we were housed in the older high school, so,
Oh, you didn't have to.
which I didn't care about.
Yeah.
You know.
So you went to Grants Pass High School for just like 2 years. Ontario 1 year, Grants Pass 2, Cottage Grove 1. Something like
Right.
that.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But this is what sort of screwed Norm up too.
Yeah.
You see, he went to so many schools, he was just tired of it.
Yeah,
after a while.
yeah. And so he wanted to drop out. I could see,
Exactly.
there's a reason there. It's stability. There's something to be said for stability and boredom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you have a car?
Do I have a car?
Did you?
At that time?
Yeah.
No, not in high school. No.
Just the one he shared, Carl. Just the
Oh.
$12.50.
Just
Oh.
Model T Ford.
Then, did you have a job?
Did I have a job? Yes, I worked at the M&W market, stocking groceries and oh, what else did I have? That's about it.
You didn't work in the tavern, did you? Good. Hopefully not.
You wouldn't catch me in that.
Yeah.
Was there a time? Was there a time you got in trouble in high school?
Where was what?
Was there a time you got in trouble during high school?
No, I was a pretty good guy. I didn't get in trouble at all in high
Or
school.
straight arrow there.
Straight arrow, right?
Okay, so after high school, when you were done with high school, where do you live?
Where did I live after high school?
Yeah.
I lived with my parents for quite a long time, until I was about 22 or 23.
That's about average age now, so.
Yeah.
Now, when did they leave Oregon? Shortly after you got out of high school, or do you remember? Or when did you go to Placerville? Because you graduated in '49. Somewhere
I think they went to Placerville very soon after.
pretty
that.
soon after, and then.
Okay, so did you continue your education?
Yes, I went to, I spent about 2 years, not 2 years, no. How long was it? It was an A&E or aeronautics school I went to and I got a license, an A&E license to repair aircraft.
Now, where did you get that? When you were in Placerville or Oakland?
Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you kind of got qualified for your Hiller aircraft days. Probably.
Yeah, I wanted to be a tech rep.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to follow one of those helicopters to South America or,
Oh.
you know, they see, when people came in and bought the helicopter, they bought the mechanic too.
Oh, okay.
Off
Okay.
your top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Take care of them.
What career were you most interested into?
What?
What career were you
Career?
most?
Well, you kind of told us that one about being the helicopter guy.
Yeah.
That was one.
So,
I like aeronautics. I just sort of liked electronics and such.
Mm-hmm.
what kind of jobs did you have?
Well, what kind of jobs did I have? I started out by, boy, this is a good one. I was in the Bay Area for about 50 years. I started out by working from 6 in the morning to 10 at night for months on end. I went to work for the Richfield Oil Company. Drove a 6,000 gallon truck up and down Nimitz, filled with gas.
That's like an 18-wheeler?
Yeah, 18-wheeler, right? And I thought, well, hell, if I stick with, I was a plant man for the Richfield Oil Company. If I stick with these people, I says, hell, I'm gonna be alcoholic, you know? I could see the drivers waning, so I went down to Hiller. And
Oh, because then you went for your aviation,
I
your
had
interest in
my certificate.
aeronautics.
And I says, well, hell, I want a job here. And the guy says, no, he says, go back to school. We don't want you here, you know? So I went back a couple of more times, and he finally says, okay, we'll take you on. So I built helicopters for about a year and a half. And I was getting discouraged. I thought, well, hell, I'll go down to HP and I can be a machinist. I can train for that job, you know? So basically, in the intervening time, they said, well, why don't you try it over the skunk works there, you know, the advanced project section. I says, well, hell, I said, your union shop here, I've only been here a year and a half. You got more qualified people to go over there. Oh, he says, try it anyhow. Well, I did.
Still at Hiller.
Yeah, so still at Hiller. So I thought, well, now this is going to be interesting. And they had spy satellites. Before they launched the satellites, we'd check them out and take them out in the van and check the castings and make doors for the fairing, you know, special doors and
For the spy satellites, yeah.
for the spy satellites, right? We had a,
Spying on the, who were you spying on?
well, that's when Sputnik was.
The Russians, oh, the
Yeah,
Russians.
this is in '57.
Carl, have you ever heard of the Cold War?
That's right.
Cold War. The United States and Russia were
So
in
we had
competition.
a swing and salami type, that was high tech, and we had a eyeball. And we filmed the whole world in 3 flights, and that was in '57.
Wow.
But anyhow, I stayed and went centrifuges there and all this other crap, and I thought, well, I got acquainted with a fellow that was in optics.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to Philco, so I was able to get into Philco with his, and these were,
And this is like in the
Yeah.
mid-60s, right?
yeah,
Right.
communication satellites. But in it, I had numerous jobs. I went to, oh God, I forget the name of the outfit. but-
Oh, IOMAC, is that the one?
No, that 50 people came from
I'll see.
IBM,
We have a list.
and I forget the name of that.
Okay, so
It's not,
Here we got a little cheat sheet for you, Grandpa. This is the one I talked to you before. Those are, I don't know if it's on there, what you're trying to think of.
yeah, there you go, Siemens,
Oh,
IMAC,
yeah.
Philco, Ford, Miller. Gee, I don't even think it's on here, but I got laid off just before Christmas one time, and you know, when you have 3 kids, even though our mortgage is only $100 a month, it's still tough, you know.
Mhm.
But
Got laid off from Philco? Or from where?
I left Philco to go to this other company, and then I was able to come back.
Uh-huh.
But then when I was at Siemens, one of my friends called me to come in and interview, and I says, sure, I can come over. I don't like this where I'm located right now. So I went in there and I talked to Willie Grunder, you know,
Oh, okay.
Swiss guy. His brother made that clock, that wood
Right,
clock.
yeah, yeah.
And they said, well, how about $5 an hour? I says, hell, that's a good deal, you know.
Then it
Hell,
was,
we was
yeah.
only making $12,000
Yeah.
a year at that time.
Yeah.
So I ended up being there 15 years. I
Oh,
got
this
an
is
associate
Cume.
engineer's degree.
Cume. This is Cume. Is this when you went to Cume?
Cume,
Yeah, okay.
right. Associate. And then I got a pension and a medical insurance policy for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
So it was kind of interesting.
yeah. You were there till I graduated from college, so you're there for a long time. Those, you know, growing up, I remember Cume was your
Yeah.
company, 15 years, yeah. It's a long time.
So I didn't tell any fibs at all, have I?
No
You
fibs
bet.
so far. And I was gonna say, yeah, and also at Cume, one of the people you knew there used to pump gas for your dad, right? The Jenkins and Jameson.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so there's
that was the